Good Thursday evening. It's the Rob and Brian edition of Night Terrors Radio.
Yes, it is.
I have no idea what could be scarier than that, but
Let's just see what happens.
I mean, at this particular point in time, it's kind of a what the fuck kind of show.
Right.
We had some COVID happen behind the scenes.
That's true. Not to us.
So not to us, but
No.
to someone that we pick on.
Yes, we pick on, but know and love.
We do know and love them.
Yes.
We've had some energy issues and
electrical storm. Yeah.
Electrical storms and all kinds of fun stuff. Again, not to us.
Nope. It's nice here.
I think it's that you and I are just true professionals.
Well, I am.
Okay. I'll accept it.
So I know people are probably wondering, like, hey, what's the topic for tonight? What's the theme? It's we'll see where it takes us. We'll see where the show takes us. If you have something,
I was going to say I have a feeling that it's probably going to take us like there's going to be a rabbit hole, and inside the rabbit hole
we are going to go down.
There's going to be a rabbit hole inside the rabbit hole with a rabbit hole inside it.
Yes.
That's what I think is going to happen.
And if we really lose it, then I'll just keep building my R2-D2 Lego, and we can watch me do that.
Okay. I have a Darth Vader Lego I can work on. So we could.
Do you have the helmet? You have the helmet one?
The
Mine's all done. Mine's all done on the shelf in there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to work on that at some point here and get that done. But so anyway, Thursday night.
Yeah.
It could be the fastest hour on the internet again, as usual, or
it could be painful.
This could be one of those. How long have we been on? 7 minutes. Holy shit! That's it.
We're gonna apologize up front to everyone out there. We're gonna have fun. Matter of fact, we talked about this a little bit earlier. If anybody out there watching right now wants us to talk about something, even if we don't know anything about it, we'll pretend we do. And
absolutely.
So if you want to throw a topic in, we will do our best to cover that. So let's have some fun.
Well, I think that what we need to start with is the news. So
there we go.
I'll run our little news intro, and then we're going to get right into it. All right. So as a typical Thursday night on Night Terrors Radio, we have a couple news stories that you didn't know you needed to know. Once you hear them, you're like, I did need to know that. And now that you know them, or I should say when we're done and you know them, your life is going to be that much better for it. So I think I think I'm going to go first tonight.
All right.
Because I think you have a topper. And I have a feeling that like if I had like Bigfoot, Elvis, and JFK playing golf photos, it would not be able to top what you have for tonight. So
maybe not. We'll see.
But a few days ago, it was World UFO Day, and apparently there was a huge celebration that no one knew about. There was no parades, no fireworks, no the big ship like in Independence Day with Will Smith. None of that. It didn't happen.
It was a shame.
It is a shame.
I mean, especially
but anyway.
It was Independence Day. When was the World UFO Day?
5 days ago. So
5 days ago. So it could have been just like the movie Independence Day. It could have led right into it.
They totally missed an opportunity.
Those aliens. They suck.
This is booking 101.
Timing, everything.
As a producer for our show, and I know you've done production for shows in the past, it's booking. booking. And right now, when you think about it, if a highly motivated alien race really wanted in on like the big Hollywood deal,
right?
July 3rd would have been perfect because they could have like slowly moved in on UFO Day, and then boom, July 4th, Independence Day, Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, Judd Hirsch, Bill Pullman.
Yeah,
So many people would have been on board for that show.
absolutely.
That would have been amazing. Harry Connick Jr.
That's right.
Yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
Right.
What's that fucked up idiot Quaid brother that loves Trump? What's his
Randy.
fucking name?
Randy.
Oh yeah, that asshole.
He's crazy.
Yeah, he was in it. Randy Quaid, if you're watching, you're an idiot. What the fuck are you thinking?
Well, he's Randy.
Whatever. So, just basically what I wanted to bring up was the missed opportunity of UFO Day. It was there. It was on the table for the taking. And when this beams out into space and like gets to Alpha Centauri or wherever, they're hanging out, aliens, get your calendar, circle July 3, UFO Day, World UFO Day.
Yes.
July 4, Independence Day, major blockbuster movie hit.
Yes, huge.
Done.
And it's
okay.
Simple.
Now, I know that your story is better.
Well, all right. So, as we do, we have to go to our southern part of the United States, America's
favorite cryptid,
penis, Florida, for our Florida Man story of the week.
Yep, our second favorite cryptid, Florida
yes. Man. I want to tell you the story. This happened. I believe he was busted May 31st. So David Proudfoot, age 44.
Was he in the Lord of the Rings?
I'm not sure. I'll pull his picture up in a second, and I'm going to say no.
Okay.
So he admitted he was charged with stealing Walt Disney World property after Orange County deputies say he claimed to be a security guard. He admitted to stealing or tampering with Disney Resort property on multiple occasions, including a statue of R2-D2 from Star Wars from Galaxy's Edge, which is worth, I guess, $10,000. He was found to be impersonating a security guard at Disney's Swan Reserve Resort after security spotted him wearing a high visibility orange vest and pushing a cart down the street to the hotel. He told deputies he worked at the nearby Yacht Club Resort. He led investigators to a staff locker room where deputies said he walked around aimlessly searching for his locker for a while and failed to open a locker. They asked Proudfoot for his driver's license, which showed a different name than the one he gave them. So he also admitted later to moving an arcade machine, an R2-D2 statue estimated to be worth $6,000 to $10,000. He claimed he was not trying to steal the items. He was being a responsible citizen, Rob. He was showing and exposing weaknesses in the resort safety and attempting to get a job with Disney security.
The old showing your weaknesses.
Yeah. Listen, he claimed to have put in an application which had not been addressed. And so, in order to boost his chances, he was exposing the weaknesses in their security, which apparently
you don't want us exposing ourselves.
Apparently there are some weaknesses. But he's been booked into jail on charges of third-degree grand theft, tampering with a coin-operated machine, which I didn't know that was a crime, petty theft, burglary, and scheming to defraud. So I do want to show you Mr. Proudfoot. So here he is.
Oh. Well, He could have been in Lord of the Rings. He's kind of got that,
Could have
you know,
been. He could have been.
he's got that half an orc kind of look to him.
He does. He does a little bit. Proudfoot. Here's the thing, though, right? I'm wondering if he's telling the truth. Granted, he stole stuff, but like, is he really telling? Like, that's a pretty good story. I mean, looking at this dude, I'm not sure like he's a big like planner.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
But you know, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if he's telling the truth. If he's telling the truth, I think he should get a lighter sentence.
Yeah, he's kind of almost got that. Like
that
wow, who me?
Huh?
You know, look.
Kind of look. I think he says huh a lot. So
Do you think he does? I think we get a lot of this too.
Yeah, so probably. So David Proudfoot, you're our story of the week. Thank you, sir, for giving us the entertainment and for demonstrating the weaknesses in Walt Disney World security.
Yes, thank you so much, because God knows, you know, the happiest place on earth. We need better security there.
Yes, because
people are stealing $6,000 to $10,000 R2D2 statues every day.
I did not steal this.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, but I'm only on bag 4 of like 14. I have a lot more to go.
But are you sure you did not steal it?
I'm fairly sure. I have a receipt.
Okay. But is it a receipt?
I was trying to expose the weaknesses in Target security. There's way too much khaki and red in that place.
Way too much. It's scary. I mean, it's one of those places that, like, if you happen to be wearing a red T-shirt and you stop on your way home, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, like you almost want to go shirtless.
I'm gonna get questions. I should go to Target one day and just like a red golf shirt and khaki pants and just shop and see what happens.
And when people ask, just say, "Oh yeah, it's in aisle Z64."
Right.
And just send people all over.
Right.
And then when they go up to the front and complain, they're like, "Your guy back in cell phones told me that diapers were in Z64. I can't find that.
I can't find that." And I'll start telling them about, you know, my day and my mother. Right?
Just randomly. Just like, excuse me, sir, can you tell me where the shampoo is? Well, is it the shampoo that I would buy or the shampoo that my mom wants me to buy? Because if it's the one that my mom wants me to buy.
Well, I'm gonna have to do this.
It might be fun. It could be fun.
Be a lot of fun.
It's one of those. It's one of those things where, like, to this day, I swear to you, people still remember me at one of my old jobs. I worked at a big box store for 13 years, and I will walk in there, and people will like walk up to me, and they're like, "Oh, that guy still works here, right?" And ask me stuff. No, haven't worked here. I haven't worked there in 10 years, dude.
Right. I was gonna say it's been like 10 years since you worked there.
But somehow people still remember me. All right, so there was a topic I really wanted to talk about tonight, and
let's go.
And I was kind of hoping that we could get a little chime in on this one, but Julie just chimed in and said she's in for the red shirt party too.
All right.
But then again, she did have a margarita flight. So
she did. She's having a red shirt party right now.
Right this minute.
Yeah.
So a few years back, one of my favorite television shows is it's called Expedition Unknown. It's with an adventurer named Josh Gates.
Heck yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen it a few times because you and I have talked about it. and I'm sure some of the people watching have seen it. But there was a show that he did on King Arthur, and he had spoken to this gentleman who was from Scotland, and this gentleman was kind of explaining to him.
Was it this guy?
It was not that guy.
Okay.
It was close to that. I mean, he was in the Shire, and someone asked him how to get to Mordor, and he said, well, I'm security for Disney, and that's all Sony Pictures, so I can't really help you.
No. No help at all.
Nope, none. So he did, however, tell them that, one does not simply walk out of Disney with a
with an R2D2 statue worth 10 grand. No.
So during this episode of Expedition Unknown, Josh was speaking to this guy, and the guy was explaining to him the right of becoming a king at the time around when King Arthur was supposed to have existed. And apparently now there's been some research and some more stuff. Julie, we should get Josh Gates to be a guest on the show.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's another part he heard from.
Yes.
It's Stacy Day.
It is.
So the story goes that there's a stone in the Scottish Highlands, and there is a footprint chiseled into the stone, rather deeply into the stone. So even after years and centuries of wear, it's still very noticeable and has been there forever. And I guess what they're saying is that when the new king of Scotland was to be, is it ordained, or what is it called when priests get ordained?
Coronated.
Coronated. Thank you. Couldn't remember the word. So when that happens, apparently a priest or a cleric stands before this stone, and the person to become king kneels, placing their foot in the footprint in the stone, and then their knee just off the stone. And then the cleric blesses them and hands them their sword. That person then accepts the sword and stands up and steps from the stone. And so what they're saying is that the possibility of Arthur being real is still very suspect. There's not a lot of proof behind it. There's not a lot of historical relevance. But one of the stories of King Arthur was that he was to, he was able to get the sword from the stone and therefore become king. Now, if you look at this procedure that apparently truly did take place, where the person becoming king knelt on this stone, received the sword, stood, and then stepped off the stone, they are taking the sword from the stone. So it kind of links that one mythical part of the Arthurian legend to reality.
Right.
Which is, to me, it's mind-blowing. Because, as a kid, I always grew up with, the sword was trapped in the stone, and, he yanked it out, whatever. And, then he got, 30 days in the stocks for exposure because he yanked it out. And there's all kinds of weird stuff.
Right.
But here's this historical fact now that kind of ties some of that weird legend together. And so I think what you have to look at in this particular instance is, the tales of the time. Could there have been a King Arthur? I guess. There's no historical evidence to it. But when you look at this part of the story, it kind of ties into what the story would have been told.
Right.
And then as the campfire aspect of it, traveled down through the ages, you know what I mean?
Right.
it all of a sudden it went from, you know, the sword and the stone to, you know, this you know, mystical thing of, you know, strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a feudal system of government.
By the way, I think I have the picture of the stone.
Well, let's put it up
to share.
Yep, that's it.
All right,
that's the stone, and supposedly the footprint, which is very evident, and then the little depression just below it to the right is where the knee went on the other leg.
Makes sense.
And that was the position that the person took, kneeling on that stone, overlooking all that land, with the cleric or the priest or whatever, you know, commissioning the ceremony.
So rather than actually literally pulling a sword from the stone, it's metaphorical.
Right.
Where the legend comes from.
So, and that is like the intriguing part of this to me. That's where I find like the weirdness, you know, the weirdness in history. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it's amazing, you know, when you have events like this or Robin Hood, right?
Right.
You know, where did these mythical figures actually ever exist, or were they kind of an amalgamation of, you know, several different people that has become legendary? So, yeah, it's kind of interesting that, you know, this rock. Now, do they know this, that this happened like for a fact, or did they just kind of see this and kind of put it together?
Apparently what has happened is that they saw this, there was legend behind it, and then just recently, like within the last 30 days or so, they have found historical documented evidence in a cathedral in this area
that this happened.
Okay. That this is the procedure that took place. I guess the evidence that they found is from the 1300s.
Okay.
And this evidence states,
which would put it right about the time.
Right. This evidence states that it was happening from 850 AD-ish until the 1500s.
Interesting.
So it's kind of, again, I mean, if look at that, look at the picture. And
yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
You can see.
Now I want to go there.
I do too, because I want to
step in there.
Right. Both of us are ordained.
We are.
I'll bring a sword. You bring a sword.
Right.
And we'll be co-kings of Scotland.
I'm bringing a lightsaber.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm just going to go sword.
All right.
I'm just going to go old school.
You should go trident.
No, because it's a sword from the stone. You know, if it was a trident from the pebbles, that would be one thing.
Well, I'm just saying, you know,
right.
Be different. Be different.
Okay. Maybe I'll go like, you know, we could go Highlander and we could get like a bunch of different swords.
We could.
And be a bunch of different kings. That's it. We're going.
I can't wait. I'm ready.
And apparently you could, for like, if you buy 1 square foot of land in Scotland, you're known as a lord, or if you're a woman, a lady,
right?
You know, lord or lady. So we could get official titles.
How much is that going for? A square foot?
I don't know. Here comes the rabbit hole. All right. How much is 1 square foot of land in Scotland?
The rabbit hole.
Yep. We're looking that one up.
Well, somewhere in this picture, there's a rabbit. So
that's true. That's true. Somewhere.
Yes. So interesting little factoid tidbit about the legend of King Arthur. Now we're gonna buy land in Scotland.
$49.95.
Oh, well, I'll do that now.
Yep. Buy a plot of land in Scotland.
Did it take
become a lord or lady? You get lord. Oh, look! Oh my God! There's a pack There's a package.
What?
Our title packs.
I'm buying this for next week's show.
Okay. The Lordship pack, the Ladyship pack, the complete. Let's go complete title pack.
We did have a comment from one Stacy. Said there's no way she's calling us Lord.
Whatever.
Nah, no. Look, it's not really up to you.
Well, here's the thing.
Lords. We will be Scottish lords.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
You can get the complete pack.
Yeah.
You get a lordship and a ladyship.
Oh.
So Stacy could be.
That's where this is going to come to a head.
Right, because Stacy, you could be Lord Brian.
Right.
And she could be Lady Stacy.
Right.
And it's $89.95, but here's what you get. You get 2 square feet of land.
Okay.
So a dedicated plot of land measuring 2 square feet, a personalized title certificate, a unique plot number that will be assigned, and they plant a tree, which is great for every order. So, I mean, it goes back to...
Well, I don't want a tree. I want to be able to stand on it. And if there's a tree on it, maybe I'll buy 2 and plant a tree in the one and I'll stand in the other.
Oh, you can buy 10 square feet.
How much?
That one's $270.
I'm going to put a bathroom on it.
20 square feet is $305.
Oh, well, see, there's the best deal.
Right. So there you go. So, I mean, when you think about it, we buy 20 square feet of land in Scotland. We go to the Rock.
Right.
There you go.
Right. I'm going to move the Rock to my 100 square feet.
Can you buy the square footage where the Rock is?
Probably not.
No.
They frown upon that.
And I don't mean Dwayne Johnson. I meant like the...
No. That would be more expensive.
A little bit.
Stacy would probably want to be, lady of that Rock.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So.
All right. So, I mean, we went down a weird rabbit hole on that one, but you brought up another great one. Yes, we are wearing kilts. Absolutely. We're going full Scotland too.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
I mean, since it is Scotland, I guess, I should probably get a replica Braveheart sword for the ceremony.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have to paint our faces?
I will.
Okay.
But I'm going to do it.
You're going to do a Paul Stanley Kiss style with just the blue star?
I'm going to do it a little differently.
I'm going to do the, why not go? I'm going to go Paul Stanley.
I'm going to go
I'll go Peter Criss. I'll do the blue cat face.
There you go. I'm going to go very slapdash. I said it.
And this one is what? And this one is what? Okay, for those of you who don't get it, you should be watching Eddie Izzard, and if you don't, really it's your problem.
Yeah, you need to watch it stand up.
So, but you brought up another great point. There's that Robin Hood legend. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden, when you start this, maybe there's some truth to that now. Maybe there is something in there.
Well, there's so many things that they have tried to corroborate as far as the Robin Hood story, and everything gets kind of close and then just falls away. But, we'll see. You never know what things get, dug up in the future and the new things that we learn. It's all fascinating.
It's just, it's one of those things where I honestly think that if we haven't discovered something that you're interested in yet, we need to just wait a little bit longer, because there will be a discovery that, what was the old joke, 750 years ago, we knew that, the earth was flat. 500 years ago, we knew what the stars were just pinholes in the curtain of night.
Yeah.
100 years ago, no one dreamed of walking on the moon. It was just a science fiction thing.
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
there's stuff coming up all the time.
We learn new, or we should learn new stuff all the time. Some of us.
We should.
Some of us.
It's like I'm trying to remember the name. The Dead Sea Scrolls. There was another one that they. Another thing, one of the weird news stories that I followed, the Dead Sea Scrolls, they just uncovered another urn of scrolls that are, just still, here we are 3,000 years later.
Yeah.
Finding this stuff. And they're discovering new Egyptian tombs all the time with new hieroglyphs telling new stories about new, different emperors of of Egypt that we had no idea even existed.
Right.
And so I think there probably could be at some point in time a big discovery coming.
Oh, absolutely. You turn over the right rock.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things. But
look at like Pompeii, right? I mean, if a farmer wasn't, digging around, we'd never know the story. We'd never know the story of that. And they dug a little bit and they found a wall. And next thing you know, they've excavated an entire city that's perfectly preserved. And now we have that part of history. And it's amazing.
Yeah, 79 AD, right?
Yeah.
And, I didn't get another Eddie Izzard joke. I didn't get my watch doesn't have the AD-BC.
It didn't have the changeover yet.
Yeah, didn't get the changeover.
Right.
But yeah, it's 79 AD. Again, a historical event that, people knew about, but never really understood the depth of it until, 1960 something, right?
Yeah. And we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of me going there. I got to walk through Pompeii on my 40th birthday. And on that day, and I'm not a guy that can tolerate a lot of heat. And it was like 105 degrees that day. And I didn't care at all.
Volcano.
It was it was amazing. Yeah. Well, Vesuvius was right there. But being able to walk through and actually feel the ghosts of the past, right? Not literally, but the fact that the city is excavated and it's almost perfectly preserved, save the roofs and stuff that all burned away and fell in. But there's bathhouses with tile work that's better than my bathroom. Modern, right?
Mm-hmm.
79 AD.
Fresh. Because aliens.
Amazing.
You just let that one go, didn't you?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I'm not entertaining that. Aliens did the tile work in the bathrooms of ancient Rome, of ancient Roman cities.
You heard them say it.
They did.
Okay.
And I don't know. I know we're talking about all this stuff, but I do want to acknowledge one of my. I love this movie, and some people don't, and that's fine. I think it's underrated, but it spawned a TV show, and today we lost James Caan.
Oh, I know.
Brilliant actor, and you brought up Aliens and
Alien Nation.
Alien Nation.
Yes.
I mean, everyone, praises him for his, for Brian's song and for The Godfather and for, all of his other amazing movies. The guy put together a fantastic body of work over his career and his life. And James Caan, one of my favorite actors, and he will be sorely missed. I love that guy.
Misery.
Oh,
so
good.
What was the movie that he was a boxer?
Oh, that was a fantastic movie too. I can't remember the name of it, but James Caan, rest in peace. I mean, thank you for all the work. I know I just went off on a tangent, but I didn't want to go too long without acknowledging.
Oh, no, not at all, because Alien Nation, one of my favorite movies from that era.
Absolutely.
You know, it was everybody, every critic panned it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Mandy Patinkin.
Yes. Did a great job.
As Sam Francisco.
Yeah, Sam Francisco. Fantastic.
And, you know, it's just a great movie. Very, very underrated, very fantastic James Caan film. Yeah. And, you know, when you think about, you know, the greatest actors of our time or, you know, our country, he got to be up there. He just has to be.
I mean, he's fantastic. I mean, his legend will live on forever in his, you know, in his work. But
I mean, well, just Sonny Corleone is one of those iconic movie figures that will go on forever.
Absolutely.
And now I have to look up, and we're going down that rabbit hole because now I got to find out what that movie was where he was the boxer.
A Fighting Man.
Okay. Wasn't he in? Yes, he was in Mickey Blue Eyes too.
Yes,
which was a great movie. Very underrated movie. Bulletproof with Adam Sandler.
Not so
not
good,
one of the better.
You know.
Huh?
Not so good, but you know.
Honeymoon in Vegas.
They can't all be good.
Yeah. But Dick Tracy.
Oh, how about Thief?
Yes.
Thief was great. Gardens of Stone. The Program. Great football movie. Flesh and Bone was terrible.
Oh my God, he was in Bridge Too Far. I totally forgot that. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
I finally got you to watch that, right?
Yes.
What a great movie.
The Way of the Gun.
Rollerball.
He was in For the Boys with Bette Midler. I mean, you don't get bigger than that.
Rollerball, the original movie, yeah.
Rollerball. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, a lot of great movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Eraser. Did we talk about that?
He was on Get Smart.
Yes. You know, he was in the movie Get Smart. Yeah. So
well,
you know,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we're gonna remember James Caan.
Oh,
everyone pick a James Caan movie and watch it this weekend.
It's you and I discuss this all the time. We'll hear a song on the radio and we'll be like, "Oh man, I forgot this song." God, this band had so many great songs. You forget how many great movies a guy like James Caan was in.
Right.
You know, it goes on. Now, here is a question from our chat room.
Yes.
The story of the treasure in New York City. Okay, that is from a book called The Secret. Yeah. And it was written back in the 80s, and it was designed as a treasure hunt. And I do have the book. Julie bought me the book.
It is absolutely 100% real. People have found the treasure.
Yeah. They have 3 of the 12 treasures have been found. The Chicago, the Cleveland, and the Boston treasures have been found. And there are still 9 treasures out there. And they are in major cities. So what the story goes, this publishing magnate was looking for a contest to put out to people. So he put together this book called The Secret, and there are paintings, and there are poems, and there are quatrains, and you have to tie it all together, the picture with the poem, with the quatrain, and figure out where, maybe you can search for like the pictures from, we could show people the pictures, Brian, from The Secret, because I'm sure they're on there.
Yeah, let me find one. The one for Boston. That was
Boston. That's a great one. So the story,
crazy thing about the Boston one is if it was a week later,
yep,
it would never have been found.
right. It was absolutely stroke of luck that it was found because of what was going on. But anyway, so here the story goes that he commissioned these paintings to be done, and in these paintings are all the clues that you would need to locate what city the treasure is hidden in. And essentially, what the treasure is a porcelain box inside an acrylic cube. And inside that porcelain box is a key. And you redeem the key to this publisher's family now because he has unfortunately passed away. And when you redeem your key, you get a very valuable cut gemstone that matches your city. And it has turned into this thing where so many people are out there searching for these. And, some people have theory. I have a theory about one of them. I swear to God that one of these is going to be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I can't tell you. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I looked at the picture. I looked at a bunch of historical facts and kind of tied the two together. But there's people that claim there's one in St. Augustine, Florida. There's definitely one in New York City because that's where the publisher was from. And his family has confirmed that there is one in New York City, but they themselves don't know where it is. There is one that is believed to be in Milwaukee because the picture shows a mill wheel, a cane, and a key, like in an arc. So it would be Milwaukee. I don't know. So there's all these theories in this book, and it's an amazing story where this guy had money. He wanted to put it out there to people and get people searching and get people out and exploring and going out and doing things. And like we've turned it into modern day geocaching and things like that. But if you could solve one of these puzzles, I believe the last guy got like a gem. And I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I believe it's called a peridot. I'm not sure if it's peridot or peridot, but it's Peridot. And it was like 10 carat, perfectly cut, flawless gemstone that was worth like 50 grand. And it was funny because if you watch the story of the guy that found it, he actually comes out and says, hey, listen, I was a little overweight. My kids got me out walking. I lost 40 pounds. It united our family together, and we had a blast doing this. And they found one of these gems, and now there's only 3 people in the world that have one of these gems.
Right. I believe this is the Boston picture.
This is the Boston picture that you're about to show.
This one.
And it was amazing, but there's the word Boston is actually in the picture. And I don't know how we get it bigger for people to see, but you can actually see.
I mean, people can Google it themselves, but it's
amazing.
Yeah. So these paintings, I mean, they're all commissioned secretly. It's pretty amazing. And it's, there are people that are dedicated their lives to finding these things.
I am more than willing. If anybody ever wants to try and find one of these and go hunt one of these, I'm in. I love this kind of stuff. I think it would be a blast to even just try.
Sure.
Just to say that you tried, I think would be awesome. There's another one that's in France. It's the search for the golden owl. It's another one of these things where a publisher, put together a book with a bunch of different clues that, get you to go on this scavenger hunt or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And somewhere there's this golden owl that's worth like 150,000 euros. I don't know what that is in American money.
It's better. Not by much. It's actually very close. The euro is very close. I think it's like $1 like $1 is worth like or €1 is worth like $1.06, $1.06. So it's very
like $150,000. That's nothing to sneeze at,
no.
And plus you get to be the one person in the world that finds it.
Mm-hmm.
And it. So yeah, this book. Stacy says, "Let's go." So this book, The Secret. I think we should do a show on it. I really do, because I have the book and I love the book.
Yeah.
I have spent, Julie got it for me, and with my weird insomnia, I have spent hours. I'm positive I know the Baton Rouge one. I don't know enough about the city of Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
To be able to decipher what, poem or whatever goes with it. But the picture itself, I believe, is Baton Rouge. And there's some pretty crazy stuff in there. And again, if you're interested in that kind of thing, go out, search The Secret. It's very hard to find the book. I will be completely honest with you. You have to get on a mailing list for the book, because if you don't, what you will get is a photocopied, stapled together book, not a real book. So if you don't get on the waiting list, or if you don't go to like Barnes and Noble or some kind of bookseller, you will not get the book. If you order it off the internet, I did make that mistake ordering it off the internet, and I did not read the reviews, which is something that Brian has tried to teach me to do for years.
Yes.
But I did not read the reviews, and every single one of the reviews said the same thing. All this is someone photocopying their copy of the book and stapling it together. So,
wow. Yeah. No.
If you're interested in stuff like this, The Secret, order it. Go right to your local bookseller. I strongly suggest, if you have a small town book dealer, here in my town, we have a small town book dealer. You can go right in and order it right through them. And, you'll actually get a copy of the book with all the original paintings that are good, clear copies so that you can see them. The photocopied ones, not so great, because I think now we're probably working on a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy.
Right.
And they're not all that crisp and clear anymore. But here we go. We go back to that Arthurian legend. Here is that secret. Here is that treasure, a real buried treasure. It's out there.
Yeah.
And this guy, this guy, when he wrote the book, he was so sure that he had made it so easy that they were all going to be found in like 5 years.
Yeah.
And here we are 40 years later, or 35 years later, and they're not all found. Only 3.
Still nothing.
And, there's people that have invested, there's people that have invested thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into ground penetrating radar and, aerial photography and, all kinds of crazy stuff. And the most recent one that was found by a mom, a dad, and 2 kids. Like I said, the guy worked for a puzzle writing company, like a crossword puzzle writing company. And his kids came to him and said, "Hey, Dad, do you like puzzles? Here's a puzzle. Let's solve it together." And they lived in Boston, and they figured out the Boston clue, and they started going through it. And this guy said, it got him out with his kids, and they were hiking and exploring, and they were discovering all new parts of a city that they had lived in their whole life. What could be better than that? Even if you don't find the treasure, get out and explore, because maybe your treasure is, like, I'm speaking for myself, but like if I was in Boston and I found like, a place where you could get like a really good lobster roll, I'd be okay.
Right.
I wouldn't be sad that that's all I found that day. I'd be all right. Or if you happen to stumble into, what was the bakery that had the cannolis in Boston?
Mike's.
Mike's. What if you go by Mike's and you accidentally have to buy a cannoli?
I mean, I accidentally buy a lot of cannolis at Mike's whenever I'm in Boston.
But I'm
I
just
get
saying,
I get in the car and like there's cannoli there.
right?
I
I
don't
get
know
it.
how-
I get it. I'm that way. Like DiVincenzo's. There's a bakery here in Rochester, New York, where Brian and I live. It's called DiVincenzo's. They famously will sell you a half a loaf of bread.
Yes.
You buy a full loaf, but by the time you get home, there's only a half a loaf left in the bag. I don't know how that works.
You know, my favorite thing about that place is like they are one of the okay, cash only, no credit cards. You got to come in with cash, which all right, immediately you think like mob front, but no, that's just how they do business. They're old school. So like if you walk in there and you pick out a few things and the total's like $7 and you have like $5.50 after you scrape the change in your car, they're like, don't worry about it. Get us next time.
Yeah, just catch up with us.
And you do. Like next time you're in there, you're like, I owe you $2 from last time. And they don't even, they're like, oh, okay, thanks.
So I made a bet with Julie. I shouldn't say made a bet with Julie. I said that Julie and I made a promise that in the event that one of us accidentally wins the lottery, and I say accidentally because neither one of us ever played the lottery, but if something happened where Julie or I accidentally won the lottery, we are going to take a sum of money and we're going to put together one of these hunts. We're going to put together a scavenger hunt. Why not?
All right.
You know, maybe it'll be in a haunted location because of, you know, my work with the paranormal. Maybe it'll be at a margarita place where
she should write her poem after a margarita flight. No one will ever figure that out.
Nope.
That shit will go on forever. She won't even know. She won't even know.
Cheers. She does. But I mean, I know we didn't really get into too much as far as, you know, terror goes tonight, but
no,
you know,
it was a discussion, at least for us. We hope it
and
was.
holy shit, it's an hour.
An hour, the fastest hour in radio.
Again, the fastest hour on the internet. You know, I mean, we had a good time. We appreciate the fact that there were some people shooting questions at us. That's great. You know, anybody that wants to go try one of the things from The Secret, I'm like, I grew up in Jersey. I know some inexpensive places to stay. I know quick ways into the city, quick ways out of the city. And, you know, it's fun. I'll go.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that. But, all right, listen, you know, we're coming to the top of the hour. Hopefully Brian and I, you know, kept your interest for this week. Next week, hopefully Daddy will be back and feeling better. You know, well, like I said, when he went out for scratchers and a cup of coffee, it took him 3 weeks to get back, and he caught the COVID when he was out there. I don't know.
Shouldn't have gone out.
You know, EJ, if you're listening, you know, on your wind-up radio because you have no power, we missed you. You know,
we did.
You'll have to come on next week and, you know, tell us where we were wrong about the aliens. Because I still think, like, whenever we mention alien hauntings, her eyes roll. And I swear to you, I hear it in my headphones. I don't know if you hear it, but like it sounds like a bowling alley on a Friday night when her eyes roll. Yeah, it's yeah.
Very
so. Listen, again, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Night Terrors Radio. Next Thursday, another all new show. Partially.
Well, hey, right now I'm not wearing pants. Just putting it out there.
Okay. All right. You wearing shorts?
Kinda.
Sweet. That's a whole different night terror right there.
It's Stacy's birthday. I figured it'd be something special.
There you go. Oh, and for those of you that have not figured it out, today is Stacey Day.
It is.
I have no idea how you have not gotten that memo anywhere in the continental United States or the two not necessarily completely attached United States, or Canada, or Mexico, or England, or France, or basically anywhere.
Right.
That today is Stacey Day. And we offered her to do a show called MCP Me. She said no. She declined. She wasn't feeling the love tonight. I don't know.
No.
Whatever.
It's okay.
She had one shot. She blew it. She has a shot.
So, do we have a guest next week?
We do.
Okay.
I don't know who it is.
I would love. Oh, you're glitching out at the end there. You good?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Now you're good.
You would love.
We need to get David Proudfoot on the show once he's released from jail.
I think so too. I mean, can you add his picture back up there?
Yes.
There you go.
Maybe we can. By then, I'll be done with the Lego R2D2. I've got the center leg done.
And we could taunt him.
Yes. He'll be upset. So
he could use his one phone call.
He could call in. That'd be great. Bye, David.
All right. So next Thursday.
Your phone call.
We do have a guest next Thursday. I promise we do.
You have a phone call from an Orange County inmate.
Will you accept the charges?
Will you accept the charges? Sure, why not?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 1,000 times yes.
Yes, I will.
All right. So for Night Terrors Radio, this is Rob. That's Brian. And we'll talk to you next week.